Thank you. Our last speaker and perhaps the most awaited is Anubhav Sinha, ace Bollywood director. Anubhav has successfully directed TV serials like Seahawks. Seahawks was #1 show for 35 weeks across all networks. Anubhav has also directed movies like Tumbin, Gulab Gang and Ravan. He has also had a stint at directing music videos. Anubhav, can you please have you on the dais?
Hello. Good evening, gentlemen and newly empowered ladies. I hear empowerment of women is in vogue these days. I'm a little confused about it though. Who's empowering them? Men? That makes men more powerful than women anyways. So that defeats the purpose. I think a little off track, but yeah, women need to empower themselves. And they need to kind of stop us from empowering them. You know, not many people know, long back I was a mechanical engineer. I used to work here in Faridabad and then in Pune. And one day I quit without knowing what I wanted to do. And I quit because I had to meet too many educated people every day. And guess that's the irony of life. Today I'm standing only with educated people. So, brought here. My father taught me as a child that if you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. And today, after this, I want to call him and ask him if everybody else is smarter than you, is it still a wrong room? I think so. I don't know what I'm doing here. When Shabbir invited me here, I asked him, what am I doing there? What am I talking about? So, he said, talk about your success, your journey, talk about entrepreneurship, talk about your foray into the world of digital content that I am slightly interested in. So I'll probably start with success. And, you know, the first point which Shabbir wanted me to talk about was my success. And I honestly don't feel I am successful. And I don't think success, anybody ever achieves success, you know. I look at success in two ways. One is a quantifiable success and one is a personal success. Quantifiable success is something that others do for you. You know, I recently wrote a tweet which I was very proud of, which said, your success does so much more to others than it does to you. So that is a quantifiable success. When people are trying to quantify how much you have achieved, what is your success, whether it's enough or not. And personal success to me is something which may not be quantifiable, which is something that only you will know about. And, you know, looking at examples from Bill Gates to Warren Buffett, or on the other end of the spectrum, Mother Teresa. Wasn't she successful? But can you quantify it? I don't think you can. But, you know, happiness for me is not, success for me is not a destination. It is a pursuit. You're always in pursuit of success. If you ask any successful man if he's successful, and he will probably ask, who, me? Because he doesn't think he's successful. Same goes for old people. If you ask them, how old are you? And he say, old? Me? No. And so I've actually always treasured failures more than success, because, you know, you can always be in pursuit of success. You will never ever get to a point where you'll say, okay, today I am successful, and probably that's the day you retire. But nobody does that. People go on looking for that elusive success, which I don't think you ever find. But failures are something which actually you build all your successes on. And I have always treasured my failures more than I have treasured whatever I have, whatever milestones I have managed to kind of reach at. And I was told to tell you some small little stories on the way that I mean, one of the very important, interesting stories, which was some sort of a failure for me, which I really want to share with you, is I come from a small town called Banaras. And until the 12th standard, I was studying in Hindi medium. So before I went to the engineering college, I did not use terms like temperature and pressure. I used to call them Tapman and Dabav. So when I reached the engineering college, suddenly I knew the meanings, I knew the words, but it was not in my system. I never used those words. I remember second year of my engineering, I pronounced water as water. What, and water. And I was told by a friend who knew how to pronounce it correctly. He said, dude, you don't pronounce it like that. You call it water. And that moment, I remember that moment of, I was pilgrim riding on a bike and I was thirsty and I told my friend, listen, I want to have some water. And he looked at me and he laughed and he said, what is water, man? It's water. That moment kind of froze somewhere within me. And that, the fact that I recognized that moment, the fact that I recognized that I needed to change it, to me that is success. The fact that I can today stand here in front of so many people who are definitely more educated than me and well-read than me, I can talk to you, I think it comes from that frozen moment, and that for me is success. And when I passed my engineering, I had 11 appointment letters. And I went for an interview, the second interview, and I badly wanted that job. I wanted to work for that company. And I was invited to take that interview at the Taj Palace Hotel in Delhi. I was a boy from Banaras, and I had never seen a real five-star hotel. I didn't know what the lobby of a five-star hotel meant. So I got off from a bus, and instead of going on to the drive-in and to the lobby, I ended up in the Darbar Hall. And I was looking for a reception. And there was none, obviously. They were preparing for a function. So I asked some people, I said, listen, how do I get to the lobby? So they pointed in one direction. I went there, and I was 23. And this was the first time I was seeing an escalator in my life. And I was a mechanical engineer. And it took me quite some time to get onto that escalator. I was in the process of getting overawed. I got onto that escalator. I reached the lobby. And guess what? Indian cricket team and Pakistan cricket team were checking in. So all the stars that I used to watch on TV were there. Javed Miandad, Imran Khan, Gavaskar, Vengsarkar, everybody. So this boy, who has come to give an interview, is right now going through the experience of a five-star hotel, gets to see two of his favorite cricket teams. I go to the reception. There's a story at the end of it. So if you're getting bored, there's something very interesting that I have to tell. I go to the reception and I say, I need to go to suite number this and this. And she points in a direction. And I didn't know what to do. So she pointed at the house phones. And I didn't know what a house phone was. I'm talking about 88. I go to the house phone. I pick it up. There are no dial numbers. It's a house phone. I didn't know what to do with it. And suddenly I hear a voice. Hello, whatever, whatever, whatever. And so I put it on. And then I said, I need to go to whatever. Anyway, I managed to go to that interview. I reached that interview. And I failed. That failure for me is a big success. It's a big success because I told myself that day that I will never fail like this. If at all, I'll fail better. But I will not fail like this. And if at all, I'll not fail. That is again a story which is a failure, which is a very small failure actually in hindsight. But that day it was a huge failure when I walked back onto the red road looking for a bus. I was not told the result, but I knew I had failed. That for me is very important. So I've been told that a lot of entrepreneurs here who are dealing with a world which is quite unknown in our country, which is creating a lot of products that we are seeing, and a lot of them fail. And I think that is the most important thing that you will ever earn out of all your endeavors, which is failures. Because if nobody, I don't know if anybody, any successful person who hasn't failed. So if you're failing, I think you're doing the right thing. If you're failing, you're doing something. And if you keep doing it, you will get it right. So that's the reason why if you look at a lot of sports pictures, when they hit the winning shot, if you see the expression, it is seldom of joy. It is angry. It is anguish. It is as if I've killed something. You know what they're celebrating? Not that victory, but all the failures that they have had on the way to that victory. So that's why that intensity on their faces. So I think everybody who's failing are headed in the right direction. So success to me is something which will eventually happen, which is, like I said, is a milestone. You will cross it, you will celebrate it, you'll have a party. And if you notice, all the successful people, large part of their careers, they work for that quantifiable success. And then they move on to the personal success, which gives them happiness, which gives them pride, which is, like I say, you look back and smile. And you don't look back and smile at all the numbers that you create. You look back and smile at everything new that you did, everything that was close to your heart that you did. I don't have much to talk about entrepreneurship. If you read my Twitter description, it says aspiring entrepreneur. So I'm still, honestly, about 10 years back. In my world where I come from, entrepreneurs were called businessmen. And being a businessman was not a great thing. People who did not do well in their careers, educational careers, became businessmen. So initially it was not a good thing, but now the society is changing and we have imported a French word and we call it entrepreneurship. And it's more hip and it's more sophisticated. So, but yeah, it's the same thing. But another story that I would like to relate. Anybody who is feeling bored can raise a hand and I'll shut up. Just one hand and I'll shut up. I incidentally met a gentleman in San Francisco. He was 54 then, he's 57, 58 now. Grossly overweight, which he shouldn't be. The man had started a company, ran it for 7 years, and he sold it for $4 billion, and he retired. So I met this man. And it was such a wonderful feeling to meet one individual who had $4 billion in his account. His company was not worth $4 billion. He had $4 billion. I remember we went out for dinner one day and, I was insisting, I'll pay. He said, Anubhav, I'll pay. And I was like, yeah, okay, please pay because you have all of it. So I spent a lot of time with him. We hung out. He's some $1 million with Goldman Sachs and so those companies that you know of. So he gets up 1 hour, he works in the morning and he invests and takes it back and then invests, blah, blah, blah. The rest is fun. And investing in people like, a whole lot of people like yourself. $100,000 a year, 200. So he's playing. He's having fun. I hung out a lot with him. I spent a lot of time with him. And what I learned actually he's the man who didn't directly inspire me, but I got inspired by him to become an entrepreneur. The reason was not the $4 billion that he has made. The reason was his happiness that he got in the entire process of creating that company and those people who became rich with him. And I thought, which was so beautiful, which was so wonderful. After all, what do you do with so much money? You can't be eating money. Even if you eat money, you don't finish $4 billion, trust me. You don't. So, it's just a number which sits in your bank and you play with it. That's a personal happiness, personal success that I talk about, is that the man is so proud of himself that he started a company with 3 people, with 4 people, and I'm sure they must have failed a lot of times, some I know. Then the company rose, and until the time they sold out, 35 or 38, he told me, became millionaires, which is such a huge success. And that actually inspired me that, it's easy to earn wealth for yourself. It's easy to earn your living. It's easy to earn a good life. But how about, and you work for your family and you want your family to wear well, to eat well, to go for vacations. How about extending that family to hundreds of people? You becoming the head of the family. and take them to another level with you. You kind of create a vehicle that changes their lives. That to me is entrepreneurship. And, finding people who have the same passion and love as yours, taking them along, taking them to a different level. Now his partner is in China and they talk once in a while, and it must be so much fun. I mean, I have seen it closely, but obviously I can't experience it unless I have it in my bank. So I came back, and when the first time I got to know, I was trying to, and in my head, my dollar is 50 rupees. So every time I have to convert dollar to rupees, I multiply by 50. So it became 20,000 crores for me. The 20,000 crores in my account, put an ATM card into the ATM machine and take out 30,000 rupees, and it will still say, okay, 20,000 crores. Why deduct 30,000 from it? So that for me is entrepreneurship. That is what I would like to do as an entrepreneur, and I call myself an aspiring entrepreneur because I'm still learning. I'm still failing. I've made 2 movies as a producer. I made money on both, but both didn't do well. Gulab Gang, by the way, I didn't direct. I only produced. But I'll make one. I've finished making another one, and I'm planning 3 more. And hopefully, I know I will make super hit films. So that to me is entrepreneurship. Yes, very briefly, and my foray into digital world. Since I'm a mechanic, I'm an engineer, so I'm not afraid of technology, and I like to read about it, and I like to keep in touch with it. And and I love music. I don't know how many of you know, whenever I've made disaster films as a director, disaster films meaning they flopped the first day. Even then, my music has been a blockbuster. So I made a film called Cash, which is a multi-starrer, flopped the first day. But the music was a huge hit. So I have great love for music, and I have great love for technology. So I have started doing things and I'm also a believer of short form content. And I think a lot of you guys, I was talking to Shabbir today, and I had an idea for an app. And I said, how do I make an app? So he said, most of the people here know how to make an app. So say that on the stage and you will know how to make an app. So, so a whole lot of Indian content. The only thing that I want to say about digital content that's happening in India, the only thing that it's lacking big time is Indian content. We are not making Indian content at all. And this Jabong, I don't know if Jabong people are here. They're all derivatives of what has happened. But what is the need of the society, of your Indian society, that only you know. I have spoken to all the studio heads of Hollywood, and I say, what are you doing in India? You're still making a film with Shah Rukh Khan. See, Shah Rukh Khan's film will make money, for sure. So, but if Disney comes to India, if Fox comes to India, I expect them to do something dramatic. Pick up a guy from here and make a film with him, and turn it into a blockbuster. Then you're a studio. So I said, what are you doing? You guys are still doing the same things. You're sitting in Amir Khan's shooting and Shah Rukh Khan's shooting. What is the point? And they said, Anubhav, we cannot get a society. We don't understand your world at all. When people say we'll come at 11, they might show up 11 the next day. So we don't get it. So they're not getting it. But the good news is that you know it. And you get it. Unfortunately, even when we make films, and I am guilty of it myself, besides my first film, Tumbin, which was a film about very Indian emotions, most of my films are very Hollywood films. They are Hollywood action. There's a superhero. Why wasn't my superhero wearing a dhoti? That would have been an Indian superhero. But my superhero looked like Iron Man. So that's, to take it on myself is how I want to kind of convey this to you, that this is where our digital content is not Indian. I was talking to, let me not name him, but one of the smaller mobile manufacturers that has become very big. I was talking to the owner of the company, and what he told me was fantastic. And that day, this is 2 years back, that day I knew this company will grow very big. And he said, we are making mobile phones for the people in Bihar. We are making mobile phones for the people in UP. They are very fond of songs. We give them songs. So I know a lot of you are getting who I'm talking about, but that company has taken off. It's huge because it's about us. And in digital content, as far as I can do, I am a believer of short form content, 3-minute, 4-minute videos. I'm working on those. But a whole lot of us should try and keep working on Indian content, which is rooted in our world. The moment you root it in your world, it'll become global. China is the best example. All their films, all their video games, everything is rooted in their culture. And it becomes global because it's unique, it's exotic. India doesn't somehow do that in any of our endeavors, including films, and I'm guilty of it myself. So I don't know if you've noticed, I've tried to sound intelligent and well-read and all, but that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for being here. Fantastic. All the best.
Thank you, Anubhav. It was very, very interesting to hear your free-flowing thoughts. We have a small token of appreciation for you. That brings us to the end of the program. We hope you enjoyed the day. Please feel free to reach back to us for your feedbacks. You can reach out to the product team. You can reach out to Devika and Vibhor. And we will incorporate those feedbacks to improve the events next time. Thank you.